why do people get so afraid to speak out in public settings, even when they know whatever they have to share is a brilliant idea? And it reminded me of the statistic of, at least here, I know in America, the statistics online states that public speaking is the most thing that people are scared of next to death. Can you imagine? So someone rather die versus speaking. So the fear is real. And I think the reason for that is the mirroring that happens. Mirroring is when other people reflect to us our insecurities or our good things, both the good and the bad. And usually it happens when, for example, if you're insecure about maybe the way you look or an accent or any of that, as soon as someone puts you in a situation of presenting, all of a sudden all your insecurities around your accent and maybe the lack of preparation, or you think you're not good enough, all those are triggered. And one thing I have to remind you is, yes, the fear is real, but it can be unprogrammed out of you. We've grown up in a situation whereby all we hear is no. All we hear is you have to have a title in order to say something. All we hear is you're not good enough if you're not college educated. Maybe your ideas won't carry any water. So, everybody keeps telling you no. So as you grow up, by the time you get to high school, you have programmed yourself to never bother to give your ideas. You think them in your head and that's it. So how do we reprogram ourselves to be able to outdo that fear? A few years ago, I wrote 2 articles about fear. I'll share the links, that helped me when I had to find myself. Part of this journey of personal development is to work out those fears. You as a world changer, why are you afraid to share your idea when you know it's the truth? You have to get over yourself. And one of the things is first to know your identity. Your identity in Christ, your identity in who sent you. You're not alone. God himself is in you. So who are you and what's your identity? When you stand to share something, when you know you have backup, you're not afraid. You just have to be bold, knowing the one who sent you is backing you up. Imagine that thought. That is your inner guidance system nudging you. Come on, that's a good idea. You better share it, and share it now. They need it, and they need it now. So that's one of the things. Find your identity and believe that you were made for more. These are things that you literally have to fake it until you make it. At the beginning, you're walking around, I am great, and the other voice is saying, you suck at everything you do. But that's not true. The truth is, you were made for more, and those ideas can be shared. Another thing, of course, apart from identity, is boldness. Boldness grows, and boldness starts with small things. It's like a muscle you'll have to train. So, for example, if someone asks you to present something, start small. Give your suggestion and be okay with whatever consequence comes with it. Some people may not like you, some will like you, and that should be okay. So you have to be open to people not being on your side all the time, and that should be okay. Everyone has freedom for expression, freedom to their opinion, but the ones that God sent to you will be ready with open ears and an open heart to hear what you have to say. So you'll have to know that if you have anything in you that has to do with rejection, unforgiveness, anger, all those insecurities, show up when you get to do public speaking. Any imperfection you have, someone will mirror it to you. If you stammer, if you forget your words, someone will. That's why it's important to be yourself. Be your natural self, because when you're delivering information, it will just be you. If someone comes and tells you, oh, by the way, you know you stammer, it's like, oh yeah, I know, and I'm working on it. So it's not offensive. I'll give you an example. I did speech class when I was in college. It was a requirement. And I was so afraid. One of the things they made us do was you go up, give a speech, then the class has to give you a critique. I had just come to the United States. My accent was very thick. I spoke very low, in a very low tone, but very fast, because that's how I think. Unfortunately, no one could hear me. Basically, all you would hear would be gibberish, because I'm very fast and my accent is too thick for the American ear. And it was the hardest thing. I didn't know that, because in my mind, when I'm speaking to someone, I'm assuming they hear me. Until that critique came in that class. First of all, I was so offended for someone to say they don't hear me. And I'm thinking, the whole semester I've been talking and no one could understand what I said. Why didn't anybody tell me? But the good news was I learned to speak slow. I learned to speak louder, with a louder tone. And I started, with time, my accent started getting a bit loose, so that people can actually hear my words. Because of the fast talking, no one would hear what I have to say, you see. And so be putting yourself in situations where people will give you an honest opinion and honest feedback will help with your identity and knowing yourself. Because once you know who you are, who you belong to, what you belong to, what you stand for, no one can shake you. You allow everybody else to have their say, but you also have the freedom to give your say. Not everybody has to come with you, but there will be a few who will buy into the idea. So all this will take practice, will take preparation, but mostly the work will be done on you, in you. So it's an inner job to get rid of that fear. Remember, fear dresses itself in different ways. So like you think you have fear of public speaking, that fear will show up in other areas of your life. So what else are you afraid of? Do you have a project you need to work on, but you're afraid that it may fail? Do you have a relationship you're trying to fix, but you're afraid to say anything? Do you have anger issues? Because fear also dresses itself as anger. It dresses itself as greed. Fear is a menace that you have to get rid of, really, so that boldness will come from rooting yourself and knowing where you come from and who you belong to. Agaba, thank you. This is a wonderful question. I hope it helps. I will leave the links to the two articles I wrote, and as always, find us in the Facebook group. This is Mother Eagle. Talk to you soon. Bye.